We are back, and I'm kind of excited about our next guest, Greg. He has been in Kokomo a little over a year now, so introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Greg Davis. I'm a hearing instrument specialist. We own the office, Indiana Hearing Aid at Kokomo. We're located south of Fountain and Hoffer Street. We brought our office into play about September of 2011. We also own an office at Noblesville and have had that for several years.
And you've been in the business quite a while, right?
Yeah, since 1996 is when I started up.
So you've seen all kinds of new changes, new innovations, and they're even starting to get just a little bit smaller and smaller, so they're even harder and harder to detect.
Yes, they are. That's the nice thing about that is patients, of course, you have the stigma. I don't want a big chunk sitting on my head. So nowadays the technologies themselves have, with the nanotechnology advancements, they're able to put things in there that are much, much smaller than they were.
Okay, we're talking about hearing aids, but I want to start at the very beginning. What are warning signs that people say, maybe I do have a little trouble with my hearing? Because it's not just for a certain age group, it's literally for everyone, is that right?
Yes, we deal with children up to 105 is my eldest patient, so quality of life, it's not allocated to a certain age group. So it does affect a lot of different people, a lot of different age groups. Usually the warning signs, problems in background noise. You get into an area to where, hey, I can't understand what you're saying. It doesn't necessarily have to do with volume. In most cases, it doesn't. So a patient may not notice they have a problem for 7 to 12 years after it's developed.
After it's started?
Yes. It's usually in the high frequencies where 70 to 80% of our English intelligibility is located.
And a lot of times, you know, especially when you see kids with the headphones on, and now Bose is coming out with great speakers, Skull Candy, all those fantastic headphones.
Right.
Those are things that you really need to be careful with, correct?
You do. The problem that you run into is we adapt to the sound. And after a while, you don't notice how loud it is. I'm a prime example. I go fishing a lot. I'll get out there and I've got my iPod on.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, I'm from half volume by the end of the day to full volume and never even notice I was there.
And factory work is another one.
Yes.
It's a big deal. You really do want to protect your ears.
Yes, and they do have the OSHA requirements for those gentlemen. They test the hearing, they test the decibel levels in there. So most of those guys are doing a very, very good job at starting to protect it. The problem is past generations who didn't
And once it's started, like you said.
Yes, it's usually progressive. And the worse it gets, the faster it will progress, especially when it's unaided. It's an atrophy of the nerves. And the biggest issue is the understanding aspects, because it changes how our brain processes. It starts affecting the memory, cognitive processing abilities, and can lead to a lot of detrimental aspects in our quality of life.
And if you're unsure, the best thing to do is make an appointment and double check, because not every time a hearing implement or a hearing aid is needed, correct?
That's right. Sometimes there are physical issues that can be detected through the testing, and that's what we're trying to verify. We're also trying to verify if something is needed. Will it help? How much will it help? To prepare the clients. A lot of consultations involved to help them understand. It's their quality of life when they get out in the real world.
And some people are genuinely surprised that when you walk out of there, you may not necessarly need that instrument.
You got it.
Now, can it be something as simple as even earwax or something along that line?
Yes. We'll run into quite often, you'll have occlusion in there because of earwax, which will dampen the hearing itself. And sometimes you'll find that there's other issues involved that the patient just wasn't aware of, that we can detect and also be able to refer them to the correct people to help them.
So the best thing is, even when you have any questions, is to call and double check.
Oh yes, without a doubt. Anybody over the age of 60 should get it checked once a year. Anybody under the age of 60, if you're not noticing problems, every 2 to 3 years. It doesn't hurt. Most professionals out there will actually do screening tests at no charge, just to help out.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then I want to talk a little bit about innovation and what's new in your field, because it's constantly changing.
Yes.
We'll be right back. We are back, and we were just talking about maintenance and everything like that, because just like with a car, you still have to do your body. You still have to check your ears. You still have to check your eyes. And they're coming out with innovation that truly is amazing. And we're talking streamlined. We're talking small. We're talking about undetectable.
Yes, without a doubt. You've got hearing aids that fit right next up to the eardrum nowadays. very advanced in terms of the technology. As I said before, with the advent of the nanotechnology, they're able to make everything smaller and much, much faster in terms of processing, making it more normal, like what you were born with.
Sure.
The technologies themselves can vary, and what people need to understand is the size aspects really have there are no limitations on that, because we can put any engine in any size.
And the technology is huge.
Yes, it is. You have hearing aids that can actually tell the difference between speech and noise,
Wind noise, radios.
wind noise, mechanical sounds. It even knows when you're in a quiet environment and it doesn't need to be working as much.
Now, is it true I've seen hearing aids with remote controls as well?
Yes, indeed. Actually, we've gotten to the point now to where we have what's called surf mobile systems, to where you can actually link your hearing aids up directly to different Bluetooth devices. You can turn your hearing aid into a telephone.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Not only do you hear through the hearing instrument, you actually can talk through it as well. So for hands-free, a lot of our business people actually utilize this system.
Now, because there are so many options for so many wide ranges of age groups, what happens if I get confused? What happens if I don't know? What do I do?
You contact your nearest professional, hopefully us,
You.
of course. and we do a lot of consultation to help the patients. Once we get them in, get a screening, find out what's going on with them. We help them to understand how their hearing works, what the different levels of technology are, and what might apply most, because the biggest thing is lifestyle. It's a lot different if you lead a sedentary lifestyle as compared to somebody who's going into a lot of different changing environments. So you may not need the most expensive technology out there. Of course, pricing is always an aspect.
Absolutely.
It may be something that's more simplified that will match up to what you do, because everyone's different.
So you'll walk me through those steps.
Every step of the way. You'll have a firm understanding. When you walk out, you'll actually have more information that you need, but you'll have enough information to make an informed decision, not just base it off the fact because I'm the professional and I say it. That's the only reason you need to do it.
You're actually taking the time to find out where I go, what I do, how I work.
That's it.
Fantastic.
We let the patients decide in the end exactly where they feel that they can fit between budgeting, lifestyle, and everything, but they have the correct information to make those decisions.
And I think you've said a big key word right there is budget. Now, that's another misconception that I know I have as well. Are they all super expensive into the multi-millions of dollars?
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. There's no such thing as a cheap hearing aid.
Sure.
But quality of life's not a thing that you want to blow by. Hearing instruments can start, depending on technology levels, as cost effective as a few $100s.
Wow.
They can go up to several thousands, depending on what we're trying to achieve with the system to match up with the patient. So in terms of cost effectiveness, there's no reason everybody can't hear.
Sure.
There's always something that we can do to help out.
And to put their mind at ease, you'll help with the financing. You'll lead them right
yes.
down the road that they need. And
Without a doubt.
insurance companies, all of that stuff.
Yes. We always make arrangements. Since we're a family-owned business, and since we own the business,
Yes.
it makes it much easier for us to be able to manipulate things to help people as much as we possibly can. Our priority is to help the patients. Everything else will take care of itself. But that's the first and foremost thing that we're trying to do.
And I think you really hit the nail on the head there. When you're a locally owned business, the people that make those decisions are right there in the business, so you don't have to call that other company thousands of miles away.
Right.
You can take care of it right here.
That's right.
And if I have a problem or an issue or a question, I come right back in.
Yes, we're able to take care of you any way that you need to. We work with a wide variety of manufacturers. It depends on what the needs are. We're not obligated to go with any particular manufacturer, so that gives us a wider range to deal with to make sure we're matching up with what the patient needs, because certain manufacturers have specific systems designed for specific problem areas. So it gives us a much wider variety to work with the patients themselves.
And again, that goes back to the hometown service, the hometown guarantees, and if you have a problem or question, boom, you're right here in the office.
And yeah, we grew up here. Our parents are factory retirees. We've worked in the area, so a lot of people already know us. So, heck, a lot of them, if they have problems, know how to call me on my cell phone or come over and knock on my door. So it makes it a little easier.
Again, if you have any questions, the best thing to do is when you first have that inkling of trouble, get in, make an appointment, because it could be something as simple as earwax. It could be something as simple as little things.
Just
make a big difference.
concentration. You know, a lot of us, it's a busy world nowadays. Our concentration levels are different now. So it's easy. I've had spouses drag their husbands in, and I know he's got a loss, something's going on here, and we test it and just find out that, look, he's concentrating on the 30 things he has to do tomorrow. His hearing's fine. You just need to pop him upside the head and remind him, hey, pay attention to me.
Well, Greg, one more time. What if they want to make an appointment? What's that number?
The number to call is 765-457-1553, and we're also at www.indianahearingaid.com. System's getting redone right now. Have a lot of information coming up for the clients as well.
Well, if you have any questions, again, give them a call. They're here. They're hometown. They're here for you. And they truly do make the difference when you are hometown and live, work, and play here. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back.